honey. Welcome to my side of the internet. My name is Soncerae Monique. I am a certified life coach for both men and women. I have a 50-50 audience, so I try to play fair with both genders. I want everyone to unify and produce loving unions. There is no gender war here. I promote positive perspectives and healthy debates, so be careful what you post inside of my comment section. It's okay to disagree, but have emotional intelligence and release toxicity elsewhere, ladies and gents. Make sure you straighten up. I posted this video yesterday and I should have known that black women were going to be ugly inside of my comment sections, because what I noticed with a lot of black women is that they think they know everything. And the funny thing is, my audience is 50-50, like I said, but on TikTok, it's predominantly female. But on YouTube, the black community in general is very poisonous as far as the advice they are giving each other, as far as dealing with each other. And one of the biggest problems about the black sector of YouTube is the manosphere, as well as the divestment community. Both of those communities are a huge problem for the black community in general. And let me explain my perspective about this. They are harming each other. It's making the situation worse because there's no unity there. Number one, when I posted this video right here, I was basically saying that I don't mind interracial relationships. There's nothing wrong with interracially dating. Okay. But to look at another race of person and believe that that race of person is a better race of person when you don't understand that person's culture or heritage is a problem. As a black woman, you are taking out on other races of men your frustration with your own race of men. And I noticed that a lot of black women who are a part of the divestment community are extremely selfish when it comes to men and their money. And they themselves feel like, as women, we should make money, but we should be able to keep our money in our pocket. And that's some selfish shit. It's selfish to do that to your husband, and it's selfish to do that to your children. Let me let you hear the clip. Black women specifically, listen. Dating outside your race is not going to help you. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of y'all feel like dating outside of your race is going to get you a man who actually has some money. Now, my thing is this. You could find the wealthiest, finest non-black man in the world and marry him and have his kids, and you will still be miserable because you are looking to fill a void that you have within yourself with a man's money. I have no issue with people dating outside of their race. Go where you are loved. But when you are purposely out here looking for someone you believe is quote unquote better than your own race of person, and you want to keep all your money in your pocket and let the person that you are dating spend all of their money, that's a selfish spirit. That's something ugly and toxic that you taking around with you. Karmic forces are going to give you your non-black wealthy man, but you are going to be miserable the entire time because you haven't even done the self-care, the self-awareness, or self-worth that it takes to be good for any man. You so frustrated with your own race of man because of all of the poor choices you have made. And don't get it twisted. It ain't like black men are making it easy for us to choose a decent dude who is black, but you can't take that out on other races of men. It's gonna follow you around everywhere you go. The divestment community is poisonous in that way. So do I support interracial relationships? Yeah. But am I encouraging black women to only date non-black men so they can be financially stable and secure so they won't have to build with a man? No. If you had any female decent role models in your life, you know that as a woman, it is your responsibility to help build your family. That means you also have to help with building generational wealth. Take care of your family, ladies, in every aspect, not just in the aspects that the world stuck on you, the gender roles that are stuck on you that a lot of women don't want to conform to, but you keep putting men in the gender role of being providers and protectors, but you wouldn't dare want the world to treat you like all you supposed to do is bear children, cook and clean, and not make any money on your own. You chicks want to make your own money and keep your money in your pocket and spend another man's. That's where the problem lies. Now, originally, this clip was on TikTok, And I posted it onto YouTube, and inside of my comment section came this person. And she said, "You're mad that women want to be provided for. That's not selfish. Literally every animal in the kingdom knows to provide for women and children when they aren't damaged. Every other race of women does what you hate. Do you hate and look down on white women or Asian women who are provided? What's mine is his and what's mine is mine? Or is it black women who can't want to be loved and pampered?" It seems to me that black women have clung on to the bottom of the barrel bitches of other races and other communities, and clung on to the way that those women do things, and believe that they as black women should also do those things, instead of black women creating their own culture and their own things, their own traditions and things to follow. They simply want to follow the bottom of the barrel selfish chicks who tell them that they should put all their money in their pocket, instead of building a partnership with their husbands and boyfriends. And it's easy for a black woman to flat out be like, "No, I don't want to build with a man," or "No, I don't want to do teamwork or partnership with a man," because the black community has never been good at teamwork as far as marriage goes within the past, I want to say 20 or 30 years. Our community has a unity problem. Our community has an issue with coming together and doing things together. Black men and women are simply trying to one up one another or fuck over one another. The quality women of other races do not simply just not work and not put money into their family. I don't know why this false narrative is being pushed on YouTube by thousands of black women, but if you live around other races of women, you will understand how those women do things. I live in Northern California. It is a predominantly Asian area. I rarely see black people. Most of the people here in the Bay are either white, Asian, from India, they might be Russian. It's rarely any black people. There are patches of black communities here and there, but most of the people in Northern California are not black. They are Asian, Indian, or white. Let me explain to you what I learned about these people in Northern California and about other races. When you live in a predominantly black area, it's hard for you to learn about other races of people. If you have never left the four corners of your hood, you've never had any Asian American friends or any white friends, you do not know what they go through as a community or as a people. Because I am surrounded by these people, and I have been for the past 5 years, and built friendships and talked to thousands of people since I've been here, I'm going to tell you what they have taught me about their own community. Okay. Now, most of what you think about Asian community is inaccurate. If you are a black woman comparing yourself to another race of women, please stop. Please quit it, because you have gone through something completely different than other races of women have. Each race of women has their own things, their own struggles and issues that they have to deal with as far as their culture and heritage goes. Before I unpack this race stuff, let me also say, stop comparing yourselves to animals. You are not an animal. I see that stupid ass narrative all of the time with black women who are encouraging interracial dating or divesting. You always use the animal kingdom this and the animal kingdom that, and men should provide, and blah, 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 the boop, beat, the beat. Stop comparing yourselves to other races of women and other living creatures. They are not you. They don't have the lifestyle that you have. They weren't treated how you were treated. They have a whole different thought process and makeup. You cannot compare yourself to other women, other situations, or animals. Quit it. Now, the biggest problem that black women have who have this thought process is that they don't understand that by not dating black men and having such negative views about their own race of man, they're going to another race of man with those frustrations and taking it out on that man. Half of them don't understand that that's what they are doing because they don't have the capacity to be able to understand that that's what they're doing because they are in their own way. I did not say that black women shouldn't be provided for. I said black women shouldn't have a selfish spirit. You know what the economy is like. Animals don't have to worry about the economy, do they? Because 9 times out of 10, their food is out here in the streets, laying on the ground just for free. All they got to go do is hunt it, you know? But we are not animals. Some animals fling and eat shit. Are we going to do that too? No, because we're human beings. Some of us as women would not be able to stand solid in this economy alone. You do yourself and your children a great disservice when you put all of the pressure of finances on a man. Just like a man does his children a great disservice when he leaves a woman to raise her children alone. See, fathers who have hectic work schedules barely see their wives and children. They are working their asses off so much that by the time that they get home, they are so tired they can't even play with their kids. They can't even spend quality time with their children because they are exhausted. And you want to put that pressure on a man to deal with that by himself? Just because men have too much pride to be vocal about how much pressure they are under when they are struggling financially doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean that they are weak when they can't handle the financial responsibility. I'm not telling women to go out here and just date broke dusties. What I'm saying is you need to invest equally in your family the same way that he does so that you two can have a partnership. A partnership needs to be what y'all doing. That's what these people are doing here in Northern California. These Asians, these white people, these Indian people, they are working together. Women like this woman who has this thought process, I feel like a lot of times these women didn't have solid father figures, so they are looking for the men that they date or marry to become those fathers. Like, women like these need to understand the concept of teamwork and partnership. Both are supposed to take care of the family. Both are supposed to provide financially. We share resources, we share housework, we share parenting, we share money, we share food, we share comfortable lifestyles. The black community knows zero about working together. Other races of people team together. Black men and women are too busy trying to one-up each other. It's selfish and tired to make your man go out in this world working alone to make money to give you while you keep your money in your pockets. Let's run back to that. Stop comparing yourself to other races of women. They did not go through what the black community has. They have their own issues, their own hangups. You want to be treated like an Asian woman when you aren't one. I'm so sick of black women talking about what other races of women get that we don't get. Do you know the stuff that Asian women have to go through to be the kind of woman that experiences what they experience from their husbands and boyfriends? Black women could never be how these Asian women have to be, how these Asian women have to conform to a certain way of being that they don't want to be in order to get that type of treatment that black women are looking for from their husbands and boyfriends. Do you know how terrible that shit is to a lot of Asian women? No, because you don't know any, really. Dear black women, you are not Asian. You are not European. You are not any other race of woman but African American. Stop comparing yourself to these women and be your own kind of woman. Whoever that woman wants to be, just don't compare yourself to other women. It's unnecessary because you don't know what they're going through to get what they get. For starters, Asians are big on family. They will do anything and sacrifice anything to protect their family. They are taught to only take care of their families, not to extend generosity to those in need. American culture preaches philanthropy and generosity. Asians do not believe in that. Asians are slow to grasp the importance of giving back and embracing charitable causes. Guess who they look at as a charitable cause? The black community. Do you realize that anytime an Asian man dates outside of his race, he is frowned upon? by his family because traditionally they are not supposed to date out. If they do what they're supposed to do inside of their culture, they're supposed to respect elders and hierarchy, and their elders and hierarchy encourage them not to date black women. They are an extremely racist culture, and so are Europeans. We know that because we were slaves. Now, Asians will fool you because they seem very modest. They don't like to promote themselves. They don't seem like they are selfish, but they are taught to not be generous outside of their own race and their own community. So if they see you dying on the street or doing something that they disapprove of, they're going to stone you because you aren't Asian. One thing that Asians might have in common with some black people is that they can't stand debt. They can't stand not having money. Most of them have 700 credit scores because they save and invest. And if they don't, they're considered scum in their culture. Black people aren't like that majority. It's a lot of us that like money, but a lot of us don't understand the concept of being responsible with it or saving it, investing it, keeping our credit scores high. Asians have the highest education and income levels because it's part of their culture and heritage to have money. No money equals failure to them. And I feel like black women are starting to adopt that same thing. So yes, we run parallel somewhat when it comes to that. That's appealing to you, right? But you have to understand that Asian culture is one of the most difficult cultures to live in, especially for women. Do you know how hard it is to have chopstick etiquette? You can't even blow your nose in Asia. It is literally classified as offensive. You can't even chew gum. Asians worry too much about what others think of them, and that humiliates them. They are stressed, they are depressed because they are trying to be perfect. Them trying to establish perfection is stressing the absolute fuck out of them, and you don't even notice. You just looking at Asians and think, oh, they're wealthy, or they have good family structure, or the women are treated so well. No, a lot of Asian women are getting beat by their husbands and disrespected by their husbands because they are supposed to be perfect as women, and if they step out of pocket for 2 minutes, they get beat. Can you imagine if a black man tried to beat you because you keep wearing the kind of weave he don't like, or he doesn't like the way that you dress, or the makeup that you're wearing is a disgrace to your damn family? Can you imagine that as a black woman? No. Y'all glamorize the positive treatment that women of other races experience, but you don't mention the negative stuff that they go through on a regular. I grew up in the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area. My closest friend, my best friend, was Filipino. In elementary school and in middle school, my friends were not black. They were Asian. You know why? Because I was nerdy. And the only girls that I could get along with intellectually were Asian, because their families were very, very critical of them when it came to education. So they made sure they did everything they could to get good grades or to be extremely intelligent. But a lot of the black girls weren't taught that. So what makes me proud about a lot of black women now is that a lot of black women are going out there and getting their education, regardless to how many times a black man tells them that it doesn't matter if they have a college degree or not. Let me tell you something, sis. It will matter to a man who has a college degree himself and who is smart and wealthy. A lot of y'all keep running into these dumb, wealthy dudes who will spend money on stupid shit, and then in the next 20 years, he ain't got no more because he was buying chains and drugs and cars and liquor and spending it on strippers and shit. Smart, wealthy men with money have financial advisors and accountants, and their financial advisors and accountants have no issue with telling them that you need to date a woman who is financially literate and not your liability, because she will drain you financially. These women are talking about other men providing for them, not understanding that men are not providers. They are maintainers. They are there to help you create a lifestyle that you have already created for yourself, and one that you will have even if he isn't there. But that does not mean that you don't help him maintain his lifestyle as well. Not just by taking care of his kids, cooking and cleaning. Those are things that he's supposed to do as well. It's not just solely your responsibility to cook and clean and take care of kids. In the partnership, he has his turn to do those things too. You work together. There are plenty of stay-at-home moms who have side businesses, and when their husbands come home from work, those husbands will go wash the dishes while she goes have a glass of wine or get in the bathtub. That's a partnership. You work on stuff together. But for the women out there who decided that they wanted to be stay-at-home moms, some of them are married to men that don't even help them at all. They're stay-at-home moms who rely on their husbands financially, and so their husbands end up losing respect for them, treating them bad. They're so tired when they get home, they don't even want to deal with them. But if you're a stay-at-home mom and you're helping your husband because you got a stay-at-home job or you got an e-commerce business where you helping him financially, that gives him time to not have to work himself to death before he comes home to sit down and have sex with you or to take care of your children and have dinner with y'all or go take y'all out to Disney World for the weekend or whatever the case may be. If that man is always working, if he's working 14 and 15-hour days and he's working through the weekend, what makes you think that that man is going to have time to be with his children? He's not. That's why having a partnership is so important. That's why teamwork and unity is so important. It's part of being in a family. You cannot rely on men to provide and that's it. They cannot be sole providers because it's too much pressure on them and it's negatively affecting your children. Let's get back to this Asian culture thing. Saving face is a big cultural burden among Asian immigrants. They are terrified of disapproval. Failure is shameful in their culture. They feel guilty over making little mistakes. They buy things like expensive houses and cars and take jobs that they don't want just to save face because they want people to believe they are something, even if they are not. They are also taught to be very quiet and obedient, something that most Black people are not. Okay? Asians don't question authority or social injustices. Does that sound like a Black person to you? They are extremely racist because they are taught to be. They don't accept new ideas or cultures. They are taught to underappreciate diversity. That is part of their culture, y'all. I'm not just saying that because it's my opinion of Asians. That is literally part of their culture. Black women cannot deal with what Asian women have to deal with. And Asian women can't deal with the stuff that Black women have had to deal with. One thing I can say that we have in common, that it's worse for them, but we have this in common. Divorced women are treated like outcasts, even if their husbands are the reason why they had a divorce. So the way that divorced women are treated in Asia is the same way that Black women are treated like outcasts if they are single mothers. I try to tell y'all all of the time, divorced women are getting treated the same way a single mother is. When a man leaves them, whether they got married or not, people still frown upon them. Or us, because I'm a single mom. I'm not exempt. Do not let these men mind fuck you into believing that if you marry before you carry and you get a divorce, you will be treated better than a single mom. There are single moms out there who broke up with someone and the fathers of their children are taking care of their kids. I'm a prime example. I have a 21-year-old daughter. Her father don't miss. He is one of the best fathers I have ever seen a man be. Was he a good boyfriend? Meh. Would he make a good husband? I don't know. But he for damn sure was a good father and still is to this day. Husband and father are two different roles. Women think if a man marries them, then that means that they are just going to take care of their kids after divorce. No, these men abandon their children once they marry you too. So do not think the order of operations is going to save you. I put clips of women on this channel Flat out like, yo, I got married, now I'm divorced. I'm struggling to take care of my kids. They father not even around. I got to go to court and I'm getting chump change from the court system. And he with his new girlfriend living off of the money I helped him make in my business. Yeah. Y'all think this stuff isn't real. It's real. Marriage is not a fairy tale. Dealing with these men is not a fairy tale. And I'm not telling you this so you can stay away from men in general. I'm just telling you to be selective about who you marry, who you get in a relationship, who you have a baby with, regardless of their color. Because once you break up with this man, in the Asian community, that's it for you. You're stoned. In the white community, shit, some of these men really are not going to take care of their kids. Your children are your responsibility. Your children have a bond with you as their mother more than they have a bond with their father sometimes. These children came from your body. Their psychological well-being depends on who you are as a woman. Stop relying on men to provide for you. To provide leadership and guidance for you is fine. Everybody need a counselor. Everybody needs a consultant. Everybody needs someone who has more skills than them. But a lot of y'all will pick any man at this point. A man that won't even teach you nothing. If this man isn't willing to teach you something on a regular, don't kick it with him. Because if he is not teaching you something every day, he wants to keep you in the dark. No man who is good for you is going to feel comfortable with you being ambitionless and not making any money. And he for damn sure is not going to feel comfortable with you being selfish and not investing your money into your own kids and your own family and your own lifestyle. If he is not teaching you something every day, that means he ain't growing his damn self. What is he teaching himself? That's how you know whether or not a man is a leader or not, whether he can give you guidance or not. What is he teaching you? There are Asian men, white men, Hispanic men who won't teach you shit, sis. There are definitely black men that won't teach you shit. And one thing that I want you to understand about black men who keep trying to tell you that other races of men don't want you, that's bullshit. They want you. They might fetishize over you. They might want to marry you. They might fall in love with you. But you have to understand what they are dealing with when they do decide to be with you. Because in their culture, whether they are white, Asian, Hispanic, Mexican, whatever the case may be, in their culture outside of America, where they are generally from, it's frowned upon to date you. Any race of person, not just you, any race of person outside of their race. They are taught that. And you don't make it easier for them to want to be with you when you are on the internet talking about how you want to date them and how you want to divest so they can take care of you financially. Do you know how stupid you look when you out here saying that? Because that is an embarrassment to these men, because then it proves that you are not with them genuinely. It means you are not genuinely in love with them. I'm not telling you date a broke man. I'm not saying that. I'm saying stop using men for money. Because if you go out there and do the work yourself, invest yourself in your own money, take your financial literacy courses, save money so that you can invest, buy some index funds, cryptocurrency, NFTs, stock, shares, get you some artwork, get you some gold and silver, and invest so you can have your own money. Buy you some land. Tear down land. Don't get an empty plot. Get some tear down land and build something on top for you and your generation. Building wealth is something that people do together. It's not something that a man sits there and does by himself. Who do you think is helping these men build generational wealth? You think it's just men? Seriously? You think it's just men out there building generational wealth by themselves? Let me share something with you. Let's go back to this concept about pampering. In this comment, she said something about pampering. When you go to the nail salon to get your feet done and your nails done, who's doing your feet and your nails? 9 times out of 10, an Asian woman. You think she in there doing Asian nails and feet for free? You think she want to touch your crusty ass feet for free? No, she's doing it because she's helping build wealth for whoever owns the salon. Because 9 times out of 10, the person who owns the salon is going to give her money to open up hers. That's how they do stuff. They work in each other's salons and restaurants with each other to help each other, to give each other money to open up other salons and restaurants. Both men and women. A lot of these women that do your feet and your hands are married. They bringing in money too for their kids. They're taking care of their kids. Get realistic, y'all. Asian women are not laying around like, oh, provide for me. No, that's not in their culture. It's only black women are walking around here trying to promote that all of the time. Trying to make it seem like that's what men are supposed to do. No, families help each other. Teamwork, partnership, unity. And this goes back to the down ass bitch holding a man down. No, I'm not telling you to hold her down, a broke nigga. I'm not saying that. These N-wordians will sit here and make it seem like they want to be somebody when they don't. My son's father was that way. My son 4, they still ain't met. I thought he had potential to be great. He wasn't. And when you notice that in these men, when you notice they don't have leadership skills or potential to be better or build something, when you see that, sis, run. First sign of it. But when you meet a man who already has the ball rolling, and I don't mean he millionaire status already, but he got something going for himself. Maybe he started a business. Maybe he in college. Maybe he got a decent job. He's making decent money. Deal with him. He got his own apartment, his own car. Maybe he owned his own home. Any of those things are fine. But if you meet a dude and he don't got none of that, don't date him. Don't do it. Never forget, if you give a man the power to feed you, you also give a man the power to starve you. Never put yourself in a position to where you are relying solely on a man. Even the Proverbs 31 woman had her own bread. She was running her own business. Married, loved, allowed her husband to lead, but still had her own thing going on. Don't forget that. Everything can be viewed in 2 different ways, a negative perspective or a positive perspective. You get to choose how you respond to what you are observing or what you experience. If you respond to everything negatively, you will have an unfulfilled life. If you look at the world from a positive perspective, you will notice that most people aren't trying to purposely harm you. Understanding that not everyone is out to get you improves how you communicate with others. You'll start to cultivate better relationships. If you'd like to schedule a one-on-one counseling session, a FaceTime, or a 45-minute call, go to SonceraeMonique.com to make a request. If you need advice or want me to talk about something specific in a video or post, please email me at Soncerae@gmail.com, or you can leave me a voicemail message at 929-399-6503. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.